How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Stupid Questions podcast. Today, we're going to be talking with Jan Stratmann. He's a professional triathlete from, I think it's Essen, Germany. Super nice guy, a deep thinker, has had some good, notable success in the sport, and just all around super quality gentleman with some sweet values. So make sure to enjoy this podcast, no matter what you do. Please enjoy it. Jan is a great guy. Really happy to have him on. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Mr. Jan Stratmann.
Elgato Wave.
Okay, nice. Did you pick it out yourself, or did someone give it to you?
No, someone sent it me and said that this is like okay. This is not like the really good ones, but yeah, I just bought it.
It sounds good.
Yeah, I think it's something like the most sold thing on Amazon.
Yeah, I can imagine. Looks like I got a bean in my tooth. That's great. So your hat, really quick. Are you a fan of bears? Is that what's going on?
Oh no, that has nothing to do with bears. You know these Goring Bruce caps, which like everybody I've plenty of them, so they have always like animals on it.
Oh, that's cool.
I have also one called Black Sheep.
Oh, nice.
Like it's not really something I thought of. I just wanted a black cap, basically.
Yeah. What's the company again? You said?
Is it Goring Bros? I think you might have seen. Like here where I live, like everybody's using them. It's like GORIA Goring. Oh no, I don't even know how to.
Oh, Goran.
It's right.
Goran.
Wait, with two O.
Oh. I'm Googling it because Goorin. GOORIN.
Yeah, Gorin, bro. Yeah.
Oh, they have one in Austin, I guess.
They have hundreds.
Wow. I need to get out from living under the rock because I
it's this is like the thing. Wait, I will show you another thing. I just have it right here.
Yeah, grab it. And you got that sweet espresso machine.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta have it. And we are moving in the end of the year into a house, so the flat is quite. So this is also because we have a place for the desk normally and for the computer, but there's all my bike stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm too lazy to always go to the downstairs to and there's also not enough space now. I also have an elephant.
Okay.
And the black sheep.
The black sheep.
And I have friends. They have like 20 of those caps. Yeah. It's like almost you need to
collection item.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, Jan,
cool.
It's nice to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to jump on the podcast.
Yeah, my pleasure.
How many podcasts do you think you've done in your time?
Oh, quite a bit.
Yeah.
20, 30, something like this, I'd say.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. I think a lot of German podcasts, not so much English ones, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, good. I don't know German, or I would speak to you in German, but thank you for being multilingual to make this a lot easier on my part.
Yeah. No, I did a few in English as well.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could do more languages, but yeah, I can't. Probably a bit of Spanish, but that's it.
Yeah, nice. So did you grow up, born and raised in Germany?
Yeah, Western Germany, basically.
Nice. Yeah. Is that where you are right now?
Yeah, it's like where I grew up, it's like an hour 30 car drive from where I grew up.
Right on.
Yeah. It's untypical to do triathlon here because where I grew up, everything was soccer. Do you say soccer or football?
I mean, I know both. It's usually said soccer around here. But
okay, yeah.
The true people are footballers, yeah.
Yeah, in my region, like there's like in my class when I was a kid, every boy was playing soccer. There was no other sport.
Yeah,
that's the thing here, especially like in Germany in general, but in this region, it's crazy. Yeah, here where I live, it's already a little less, but where I lived, it's like the AP place center of it.
Was it ever in your dream to go and be a professional football player?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like my whole childhood. I played soccer until I was 15, 16.
When's the last time you've been out on the pitch?
Whoa, that's a good question. Like, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah.
And not like 2 years, a lot longer.
Yeah. You think you'd still
probably when I did like intervals on the track and there was a soccer field in the middle. That was the last time.
Yeah.
And you after the workout you do like grass, like diagonals on the grass or something like this. That was probably the last time on the soccer court, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. What point in your life did you let that dream go and start to adopt the new dream, which I assume would be being a triathlete?
It was pretty much when I broke my my shin and my fibula and the other tibia and fibula. It was 2011. And then over the rehabilitation, I started swimming and also started triathlon like within 2 or 3 months. It was in the first place, I thought it's all rehabilitation. So step by step, going back to playing soccer, like aqua jogging, swimming, biking, just to get fit again. Because it was quite a bad injury, like complex one, and operation was needed twice and stuff. So, and then I never really played football again.
Yeah.
I switched to triathlon completely.
What was the injury? Like, how did that happen?
Skiing. Me and my brothers, we jumped a lot when skiing, and then there was this classic situation. It was just before we wanted to go down and go back home, and I told my dad, "Yeah, you need to see this. We did some nice jumps, and like I wanted to set the highest and biggest one, and he had the camera on it, and like yeah."
Do you have it on video still?
I believe my father had, but he never showed me.
We gotta ask him. That would be like such a crazy a little hard on the stomach. But...
Nah, like the leg was. I don't think it looked really nice because the leg and when the shishu ends, like the leg was not nice to see.
Did you immediately feel the pain? Like, did it make you pass out? Was that how bad it was?
I think until today was probably the worst pain I had in the 3 days after. Couldn't sleep for a second.
Wow. And did you start hallucinating because you weren't able to get any sleep? I can imagine that was torture.
I can't remember, but I can just remember the pain, especially on the way back. Then we drove 9 hours from Austria back home in the car, and it was
torture.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. Wow, man. That's crazy. So you let go of that. Well, how old were you? You said 16?
I think there was still 15, yeah, and 15. Then turned 16 afterwards.
Yeah. So at that point, were you like playing like on a, I don't know, it's like an amateur team that's helping you go pro, or is it part of a football club or?
Yeah, I like it was a regional team, nothing like too crazy because I know a lot of the friends I played with, they went to the Bundesliga clubs. Like we have just like think in 45 minutes drive, we have Bayer Leverkusen, Borussia Dortmund, Schalke, 04. I don't know if you know those clubs, but if you are into soccer, you probably know. So there's some of the biggest in Germany, and a lot of them went there. Yeah, from the club I've played, no, there was had nothing to do like with professional soccer playing, not an academy or something, or regional selection, but it was also not really a thing there in the region to, I think, if I'm not wrong, to have these selections as young.
Yeah, I watched a documentary on, I think it was German football clubs and just the pipelines that exist for people who want to be amateur to become professional. And what you're talking about, those, I forget the exact name, but they remind me of like triathlon centers almost, where it's just you go to school, you live, eat, breathe, everything kind of circles around being a professional, eventually football player.
It is crazy. Basically, also, like I don't know if I can tell this, but I just do. Okay. The son of Daniela Bleimehl, for example, I think he's a really talented young kid. And I know there's already people coming to them who want to say like the agents of him, and he's 14. So that's where soccer is. Like, it's crazy. They already And also the big clubs, they get the kids already age 13, 14, and then they get in their training facilities. And in soccer, so much money. Then they go there to school. They have the training. Everything is like built around. And you always, I think you hear also in the news that like the most talented ones, they even take the families to the countries or to the clubs and give them everything to have the kids in a good surrounding.
Yeah, long-term investment.
It's like total different level of like professional. Like if you compare it to triathlon, I'd say you need to have your parents and at this certain point or until a certain point to support you no matter what, because otherwise you won't be able to pursue a professional career in triathlon.
Mm. How do you feel like you are supported by your family? I mean, obviously are you 30 or you're going to be 30 soon?
Yeah, I'm 30.
Okay.
Yeah, I think especially in the beginning, it was crucial to have the support of the family. We didn't had like from a whole youth, like the super easiest, let's say, situation at home. So my parents divorced when I just started triathlon, but they tried to support me as good as possible. But there was a point I always had this like, I started studying after finishing school, and I was always this thing. I try to be a professional athlete, triathlete, as long as I study, and as long as it's like I can finance it. So, like in Germany, you have this system where you get when your parents like aren't rich or something, you get like support from the government, and you need to pay certain amounts back. With this and the support of my parents, I could like do it for a period. And then, at some point you needed to have sponsors and stuff or supporters. I think in the first place, there was people believing in you, like, and paid stuff or paid a bike or something. And then you just step the game up. And for me, it was, I think, 2021 all the way. I started with short course, and then I made this switch in 2019 to long course or middle distance. And then I had my first like real success, I'd say, in 2021 when I had my first 70.3 win. I got third at the European Championships, 70.3, and got second. And I think one of the first races post-COVID. So there was a lot of intention on it and a really strong field. Challenge St. Pölten back in this year. There was the first time I said, okay, I can make it. And this was also just the ending of my master's degree. So it was right the time, because I told myself when I finish my master and I can make a living off the sport, I continue to pursue the dream, but I have to be honest to myself if it's not possible, or I can't just like, because my parents couldn't like support me any longer, or with the amount you need to pursue that dream, because it's getting more and more expensive, especially also on the long course and with all the travel. That was the right timing to then get the first good sponsor deals and like make a living of it.
Yeah, that's a lot. Obviously, it's a very expensive sport, and you said you were also, coming to the point in 2021 where you were able to actually make it, and then you mentioned being a master's student and graduating. So, what did you take in college, and how did you find the balance to be able to chase both of these things?
I think the word balance for the thing for the there was no balance, to be honest. It was a struggle for like, I finished school in 2013, did my bachelor degree in 2017, so I rushed through. And there at this time I wasn't really training too much, and also hadn't, and like it was logical that I didn't have the success I wanted to have, because I was basically a full-time student. I was from 8 to 4 every day in university. I swam at 5:30. I don't know. Today I don't know how I managed it, because the days were just too full. And after that, I lived at different places, at Olympic training centers in Eastern Germany and stuff, because I did my master's degree. Like, it was a university without presence. And
So like online?
I took, mostly it was online, but the exam you still needed to go to certain places and write them there. But I took more time because the bachelor normally took like 6 semesters, so 3 years, and I did like just over 3 years, and then I took 4 years for the master instead of 2. And there was a time where I started to train a lot more, and tried to get first dream was Olympic Games. But I realized quite quickly that my body, or that I was struggling to especially train and race at this high speed, just with problems and low back and stuff. I always had struggles with this fast pace, and I felt like it gets better as longer the distance is. So because I knew I was fast, but I could never show it because I had problems with this high speed coming off the bike and run like the first K in 250 or something.
Yeah.
And then my system was just shutting down. And so I decided to go on the longer courses. And for me, it was way more fun. I remember my first middle distance coming to the finish. It was in Poland, Gdynia. This one, I got 4th. I think Fordino won. And
the other Jan.
Yeah. There was just so many spectators cheering you on, and it felt so special. And I never felt this on the shorter distances. And I just wanted to try a 70.3. And I thought, this is cool. I want to do this. Yeah. And then I never really raced a short course race anymore after this one.
Yeah, it became the end. So what did you take your master's in? What was your degree and your focus?
It was basically business. I know there's like hundreds of names for it. So, yeah.
Did you end up doing your master's because you really wanted to go to study more? Or was that an expectation that was placed on you?
I think more or less, I always wanted to become a doctor when I was younger. And I thought, I can't become a doctor when I want to be a professional athlete. That's not possible to do the studies. And also my numerus clausus is in English also the right word. I don't know. Like the grades weren't good enough, I think, in the first place. And then I decided to first study sports management. And quite quickly I thought it is for me to, how to say, like you close a lot of doors when you just focus on the sport thing and you don't have this general like business and management stuff you learn. And then I decided I think I needed to do a few more lectures or courses, and then I could study a business or management. It's called General Management Master. And did this one.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit earlier, going back just a little bit about your parents being a key support role in the beginning of your triathlon journey. And had it been triathlon or soccer or whatever, it sounds like that they would have tried to support you. What part did they play in you going to college and, just going full time with the triathlon gig? Were they supportive of that? Were they kind of hands off? Were they against it?
I think they supported everything I did, but I was from an early age. I'm the oldest of 4 brothers, so I was like doing my thing pretty early on, and they just supported me in terms of they had my back doing what I wanted to do and pursue my dreams as much as they could. Obviously, as they have 4 kids, and it wasn't the easiest to get, like to have all 4 kids like to handle us. And
especially
everybody
boys.
had different all boys, different interests. And also you have to say it, and especially as we said in the sport of triathlon, we were like a normal family, nothing special, and couldn't like my father or my parents couldn't say, I can buy you a carbon bike for 3,000-4,000 euro. That was not possible. So we needed to see, but I think still I could do anything I wanted until a certain point. And then I tried to find solutions for other things and find people who wanted to support my way pretty early on. And I was lucky enough to have people at sometimes to do it, especially in the beginning, and that so I could continue.
Yeah. What did what do your parents do? What kind of work are they into?
My father is a police officer. And my mother worked in a laboratory at the time, so it was pretty normal jobs, I'd say.
Do you think that they're proud of you? Do they feel You feel like they're proud of you?
I think so. For example, in Roth a couple of weeks ago, my whole family was there. My brothers, my mother, my father. And this is like, for me, still something special to have them out on the course.
Yeah. I can only imagine. So do you want to have children?
For sure, yes.
Do you think that you'll have a hard time telling your son or daughter that you're proud of them?
No, I don't think so, because I also work with a psychologist about this and try to get those, like, talk about the things you're dealing with. And so that's the thing what I've learned over the time, that you can work on yourself, and I think that's super important. And if you have weaknesses or things you want to work on, the first thing is you need to willing to be work on, the same as in training. It's also some behaviors you might have, and if you work on this, you feel better yourself, but also your loved ones feel better, or the people that are important to you if you behave better. So I think it's a win for everyone. And I still have the feeling, especially at the elder generation, that like this whole psychologist topic, especially in Germany, is not like I think there's other countries, they're a lot further with this topic. In Germany, people like to keep it under the table sometimes and not be open about it.
Where do you think that comes from with just the cultural norms within Germany?
I just see it, for example, that in the US, people are pretty open about it. And here, I think the younger generation is a lot open about it. But I think the generation of my dad and my parents, they are sometimes, some of them are still like, no, I don't need this, because probably I could imagine that it's like weakness. It could be seen as weakness to say you work. It's not like you need the help, but you work on yourself. Probably tell it this way. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating, these topics of conversation, because, our parents born in, usually the mid to late 60s, and then their parents were born, sometimes in the 40s, 30s, 40s. So like that turn of the century, that time and period and place, coming off of two giant world wars, it was almost, I would imagine, a lot more survival based. So you think of our grandparents, they're having to literally focus on two things: a house for my family to live in, and how to get food on the table. And if that's all you can focus on, and your purpose is totally driven in that, I think it's easy to kind of forget about all of the other things that are going on upstairs in our own brains.
True. I think that's the right thing.
Yeah. So my siblings, I'm the oldest of three. I have two younger sisters, and as we've gotten older, our relationship has kind of come and gone, and now I'm really close with my middle sister and my youngest sister. Hopefully, in time, as she gets a little older, we'll get closer. But for you, being the oldest of four boys, obviously they're all looking up to you in different ways. I don't know what the age difference is, but what has the relationship been like with you and your siblings?
I think we have a good relationship. They all are not really into triathlon. So I wasn't until I was 16, so they weren't as well, and they never really did triathlon. But I think the three of them, they still live where I grew up. They are closer in terms of they do more together. They still more at home and all this kind of stuff. And so I'm the only one living, it's not far, but living apart. But still, I have a good relationship with them. We call each other a couple of times a week or a month, let's say, probably more like this, because they all work as well and stuff. But yeah, always, I think we are just 6 years apart between the four of us.
Oh, so very
so we
close.
are like quite close, and it's something I think you just realize when you move away from home how cool it was to have always someone you can like do things with, just hang out with. You always had your brothers there, and you just really realize when you move out how cool it was. I think at times when I was younger, I was like annoyed by it, because especially, or probably because being the oldest. But yeah, it's so cool in general to have a big family and brothers, and yeah.
So you'll probably want to have a big family then, you think?
I don't think we will. Me and my wife will have a big family, but we will have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
I need to know that, right? uh,
Yeah.
2.5 years.
Okay, nice. So what have you learned in the 2.5 years about yourself as it relates to being married?
That's a good one. I think you're like it changed like the other day I had a call with Fred Funk, and we talked a bit about like all this kind of general stuff, like what's like is it in or is try or we agreed on, let's say this way, that it's life is not just triathlon. You know, there was times in my life I just thought my triathlon is everything. Beside, like I do the studies
Mm.
to get through, and then 100% focus on triathlon. And then if you get older, you marry and stuff, you see different things are more important even than triathlon. And I'm 100% sure for myself that it makes me better in triathlon to have sometimes a different focus and think, okay, there's more in life than just the sport, and also sometimes nicer things and more important things, which also led to you when you have your partner, you have someone you can share everything with, the highs and the lows, and it makes you so much more safe in some way, to just feel someone's having your back, you're not alone.
Mm.
And you can have your family, but it's something different with your partner. You share everything, and it's just super cool to be in this situation, I'd say.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I've been married for 8 years, and like you say, sharing the highs and the lows. I think it's popular and talked about to share the highs, but to share the lows and truly share the lows and kind of have that give and take is not an easy thing to master. I don't think it takes time and practice.
Yeah, for us it's still a short time, so we didn't have like big lows or something. But I think this is also when it counts, and you are probably you're never prepared for it. But just to have in mind or know that you have someone, or that you are not alone in those situations, gives you like so much like positivity to like say, yeah, we can just manage it,
Yeah,
whatever comes.
yeah. Well, so speaking of whatever's coming, you said that you're going to be moving into a house soon, so that's a big step.
It is, yeah. Will be the end of the year, and because the flat we live in right now is exploding, because my wife would say I have too much stuff. I have, to be honest. Yeah, but we're gonna have a bit more space then.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah.
It's it's close. It's
It's
close
close.
to here. It's just a 10-minute drive.
Okay.
It's a bit
Nice.
more on the land, so a bit
Yeah.
out of town. But it's still here. Also, it's not like a big city or something.
Yeah.
I like it to like on. I like it to have like not living in a. I was never. I grew up pretty like we had no real neighbors.
Yeah.
You
Pretty
wouldn't
rural.
imagine if you search Essen on the map in Germany, like this is like the biggest crowded area in all over Germany. But there's still some places where yeah, with a lot of a lot of space in between houses, or it's
Yeah.
not like urban.
Yeah. So.
And I never really got warm with like this urban thing. I lived in cities, but I never felt really like home.
Mm,
Need to go a bit out of town.
yeah. A
Also for
little less
training, it's better.
quiet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Safer. Yeah. Less cars. How do you find it in Germany when it comes to cycling and motorists? Do they treat you pretty nicely, or are you kind of like get off the road? Flicking
So
them off.
today was a pretty bad day.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. They don't like, because probably the weather's bad in the last week. I don't like that. Now, in general, if you know the roads and the times you can ride on,
Mm-hmm.
where I live, if you ride out, you can have it pretty quiet. Cycling paths are rarely and pretty bad. That's a thing. So you ride on the roads.
Mm.
It is okay. Road like there's always idiots wherever you look, there's also idiot cyclists, there's idiot car drivers. Sometimes there's a bit too much idiot car drivers, too many of them, sorry. But yeah, it's okay, I'd say, in general.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. So I have a question, an introspective one. Given, you're only being around 30 years old, you seem to have a pretty high level of self-awareness. You've done different psychological work with, I don't know if it's therapists or psychologists, sports psychologists or whatnot. Being aware, just like the importance of parents being proud and how you want to be as a parent. You have quite a rich, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but repertoire of experiences in your past. So given that into perspective, who do you think, or who do you say that Jan is? Like, who is Jan?
I'd say, in first place, I'm a husband. I'm the oldest brother of 4 boys, and then I'm a triathlete, professional triathlete. And I have to, before I say that, I have to say I also have 3 half sisters and brothers as well, little ones. So I have to add them to as well.
Yeah.
But then I'm also a professional triathlete after this, and pursuing the dream of becoming a world champion on the Ironman distance at some point in my career. But it's funny because you always have to think, and I still couldn't figure it out. But I think one of the first things my coach Björn Geßmann told me, he still can't say or don't know if it's worth. I don't think I can reply it in English good, but don't think if it's. You have to sacrifice so much in order to get world champion or have to be the ultimative winner.
Mm-hmm.
And you really have to think if you want that. I think this was quite a good thing to say from him, because all the things I told you, like what's important in life besides sport, needs to, I think, and I from experience also over the years, you need to put behind yourself. You need to be super selfish in order to be super, 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 like, good. And this is a thing, a fine line, I think, where if you step over it, you fuck up like your relationships. And do you want that? And for this particular one, I still haven't got an answer, because I still wanted to pursue the dreams. But on the other hand, don't let the people down you love. So I think this is something really hard to say, but also hard to be honest to yourself.
What is a way that you think you can gauge yourself to find out if you are making too much sacrifice in the relationship department?
Oh, I think this is a tough question, because I don't know 100%, but I think you need to in the end, it's always the communication thing, so you need with your partner, in first place, you need to be clear that it's a short period of time when you're planning to spend your life together, where you pursue the dream of, like, professional athletes. You only have a certain amount, and if the partner is like willing to go the way with you and to step back for this period of time, and your partner needs to, otherwise it's not possible. I think then it's a communication thing, and I think it's possible, but you need to, like, communicate on the along the way. And and then again, as we said, there will be the highs and the lows, and you need to go through it.
Is your wife an athlete as well?
Yeah, she was. I think when we were young, we met the first time in, like, was the regional selection in triathlon. She was a triathlete, or is a triathlete as well, and so that's, I think, a big plus, that she exactly knows how you feel before races, what you need, and everything, and what it takes as well, what you need to do, and what the training takes, and so yeah, she knows.
What is she doing these days?
She's a teacher, and she's now doing this. She's doing high rocks.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's what all the
yeah.
cool people seem to be doing now.
Yeah, true that. She's quite good in it as well. And also still for fun, a few triathlons. But I think we decided more or less together that she also tried to be really, really good in triathlon. But then she realized that she can't keep up. Like the level she's coming from was really good, like also in the Bundesliga, German Bundesliga top 10 or something like this. And then being in a full-time job, it's hard to still have the level. And for her, and is something for her, like the social life was always important, family was always really, really important. So she said she would like not go cycling to see her family. And for me I was going cycling and not seeing my family, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think that's just then, as I said, sometimes the difference.
Yeah.
Or you say, I would say different. I would also see my family, but she would see her family 4 hours and goes 1 hour cycling, and I would do the opposite.
Yeah.
I think this is a better thing. I wouldn't like say I don't see my family at all, but
yeah,
not much. I think see my mom twice this year.
yeah.
So yeah.
Do you well, let me ask you this question. Whose opinion of you matters the most in this world to you?
Like a person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
my
doesn't
wife.
have to be a person. If it could be
Also,
someone.
okay. If you would ask me which person, it's clearly my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it fair to say that she has helped to shape and shift your perspective over the years and, what it means to be a professional triathlete, but also obviously a husband, but just living a balanced life? Do you tend to take her advice on things, or it shifts the way that you consider just how to operate?
Yeah, 100% sure. I still wouldn't say that I'm good in balancing life.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to. But yeah, she shift also my focus like in life, and also what you do. Or so the reason you do everything for shifts probably a bit. You're not only doing it for
For
yourself
you.
anymore at some point, but also for your family, or the family will have.
Mm. So, with all of that in context, your perspective shifts over the years. You're still kind of wrestling with this question of, or to how to know, am I going too far, and the sacrificial aspect of this. What do you expect out of yourself at this moment in time?
So right now, or in this year, but also probably the coming years, I'm willing to do everything I can do to be the best athlete I can be, and to like perform on the biggest stage. So in this phase, I sacrifice a lot of things, and I'm willing to, and it doesn't really feel in this moment to you have the situations, but overall that I need to sacrifice too much. I think it's just like that I'm really glad, or that I'm able to do what I love, the sport, and pursue my dreams, and being able to make a living of it. So I think to make your hobby to your job is one of the coolest things you can do. And if you're then also quite good at it, it makes even more fun. So yeah, pretty happy how things are, and really hope to have some more years of this.
For sure. Well, you're still relatively young, so we got time.
Yeah.
Especially after Jan winning the U.S. Open, whatever, he was like, what, 40, 41?
Yeah.
That changed my
That was
perspective, even as
that
an
was so
amateur.
impressive,
Hmm.
because if you just consider like being 40 plus, having 2 kids at home, a family, this is yeah. So he's also, that's the thing. I don't know if you see it, you just see then Jan crossing the finish line, winning with 40 years of age,
But
but
not
also
everything else.
having the family behind and everything is it's really cool to see that it's possible as well for the athletes, for us athletes, for us professional athletes, that you can have a family and be arguably the best in the world.
Yeah. Do you because you mentioned, you were talking to Fred Funk earlier. You guys are obviously friends. Do you have other mentors? Is Jan a mentor that you lean on and ask questions about?
I think Jan is more like a role model.
Yeah.
Probably I wish to have him as a mentor.
Yeah.
But yeah. I have people around me. I have good friends, and I can talk about a lot of things, and yeah, that's really good and crucial. And also people I train with at home, and especially people who are not like super involved in this sport, sometimes help me. And also I have a really good relationship with my coach, and we share also a lot of other things and just training. And he always has an open ear for all the topics happening in life, because it all affects your performance in the end.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not the training you need to talk about and what's like affects you in a negative or positive way. A lot of times it's also like everything we talked around.
Yeah, it's interesting as you are talking about like the expectations on yourself and the mentorship involved and how it can affect your performance on and off the course. I'm curious for you, do you think it's more important to have mental clarity before a race or to be like physically just 100% the best tapered?
In the best case, you have both, but
But if you had to
for
choose one.
me, for me, honestly, it would be when I make it physically 100%, or even like in one piece onto the start line.
In one piece.
I, yeah, I never had like when I was on the start line, I was the most relieved, because for me it was more like harder to get to the start line and to organize everything around and not being too stressed out about it. And when I was on the start line, I always feel like this is what what I love to do, and I can't, like, nothing can go like wrong in the place of like your bike is not traveling with you. These things are stressing me out, but not like racing. I love the racing, and I'm always like, there's no mental side. I also, when I talk about working with psychologists, I probably never really worked on something related to how to react in certain race situations. It's more like life and not racing, because in racing, I love to race. I love to be competitive. I love to have this tight racing and give it all, and also against my competitors and everything. So this has never been a topic for me. I have different things. So I would say it was also in the future more of a struggle to get physically and healthy to the start line, and not like the other thing.
Yeah. If I may ask, this is a bit of a personal question. You can pass if you want to, but what are some of the what are some of the key things, you know, that you're talking about in life that you've had to work through mentally to be there on the race day physically?
It is basically just, it seems so like not important, or like, but to the things you need to do to get to a race, like it things like small things, but I was stressing about because I wanted to have everything in control, starting with which flight do I book and does it work? Does the bike come with me? Which hotel? Is it noisy? Is it at the right place? And these things add up, and I can't control them, and that's a problem then. Sometimes I get better at this and I stress out about it because I want to have it perfect, because I want to control everything, and you can't control. So everybody's talking about control the controllables, but it's easier said than done.
So
So it's
easier
more,
said than done. Yeah.
yeah, and it's those things that sometimes are, yeah, stressing me out.
Yeah.
But because
You feel,
that just shows how important the race is, and sometimes over this you lose the sense of what's important right now, and sometimes you just can't control, just let it go. But it's, as I said, it's easier said than done.
yeah, but once you're able to let it go, the overwhelming peace and knowing and accepting that, oh, I can't change it. Showing up to a race and your watch is dead or your bike computer's dead. Like I've seen that happen before, and just letting it go. Like you can find peace in a great way that often I think can actually add extra performance boost if you just let it go. Because But it's hard to get there. It's like a real commitment. But once you're over the
Yeah.
hump, it seems like, okay, I've got it. Like I'm there. Yeah.
Mm.
So as you have won races now, you got that world championship and European championship. You said second place, correct?
Yeah, I was third at the 70.3 Europeans. I was third at the Ironman 70.3 World Championships in
Yeah.
2023. Yeah.
So as you've won some of these races and then you're on the podium for these like world championship races, coming from, before you had those titles, the expectation on yourself is like, well, do as best as you can. But after you step foot on that podium and you win some races, there's like this newfound external expectation from others, like, oh, he's going to be continually doing this. How has that changed your just mental mindset around the expectations of what you have on yourself after the fact of getting some of these titles?
I'd say I always had really, really high expectations on myself. So they didn't majorly change throughout like the first things, because I also forget like a good race pretty fast when I focus on a new one. It's like it's all new again. Like nobody cares what happens last week.
Yeah.
You gotta go out there. And I always thought like this. So right now, like I think sometimes I'm too fast with it. Like if you believe, like after Roth, the race was, I think, not perfect, but for me it was a good result. I got third, and then in the week after, I already was in the planning of Nice, and like that was a bit fast. Also, that's probably, as I said, my wife told me, because you can have this moment to breathe through and like say just enjoy it for a second and then continue. But I'm like, I go to the next one, and before I had like the results, I always wanted to like, this race I got onto the podium, and I can do this. Or I try to tell, but then you also have the dopes on the other hand on other days. And this you have as well when you won races, and I think that didn't change for me, honest personally.
Yeah. So, shifting gears just a little bit, I'm curious to know, are you religious or spiritual?
Not really. I grew up Catholic, and we went to church quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I think it, like with the sport and stuff, eventually I'm not really religious anymore.
Yeah. Do you think that when you have kids that you'll reevaluate that at all, or you think you'll kind of remain the same?
Honestly, I never thought about it.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Yeah. Do you think that like the value set that you have was influenced by some of that upbringing?
I think I come from a relatively conservative family, and I think that gave me some kind of, how to say, no, I don't say assets, but I think like things you value in life, which is really good, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and this comes with the religious part as well.
Yeah.
It's certain part.
Do you think that you believe in a God?
Yeah.
You do? How do you know?
I think, as I said, I grew up, I went to, I don't know actually the English words for it, communion.
Yeah, communion.
And all this communion. And then the second thing we say in Germany, Firmung. It's like with 15 years old,
Oh,
if you
okay.
say it yourself. So yeah, I grew up and like going to church and everything. So I would say I believe in God, but I'm not like 100% behind the things the Catholic Church did in the past. So this is probably because I went out of the church, but still believing. Not like that I do it on a regular basis, like praying or something, but still believing God, I think.
Yeah. Do you pray every once in a while?
No.
No. Thanks for letting me ask these questions.
No worries. All good.
Yeah, I like understanding where people come from, especially is like I'm going to be 33. My wife is pregnant by like 12 weeks or so. So she's getting ready to, yeah, thanks, man. I'm super pumped. And, kind of what you were talking about earlier with your wife and the, how much sacrifice is too much sacrifice in the light of athletics and things like that. I'm just an amateur, but I'd train probably too much. But now that as I'm have a kid on the way, considering, what life priorities will be and what values do I want them to have, and just comparing and contrasting how I was brought up, the things that I want to carry forward and the things that I want to completely cut out of the picture, is a big topic right now. But yeah, so it's kind of where all these questions are coming from.
But that's what I think, like people, and I'm like, if you see it also where in your surrounding and stuff, like having a job doing triathlon, which is like super training intense, so you need to spend a lot of hours doing it, or if you want to be good, and then having a family as well, it's so much and so much work, and like every professional athlete like does probably a lot less when you just focus on the sport. There's also some who work in all this kind of stuff, and I'm like always, this is so much harder than what I do. I sometimes feel. So I'm always like, these guys are the real killers, like doing all this. And then I always think, because you see it with others, that it's sometimes I feel like they would do better if they like train less in a lot of things, probably even performance wise, but also for the family life. If you see, like, as you said, probably your kid is just growing up once, and if you're not there, probably you regret at some point in your life. But I'm not here to I don't know.
No, I think
also things I ask myself, as we said, you probably ask yourself as well, right? So
yeah, no, I think it's fair. I have some family that on my wife's side, so they got me into triathlon. I was never really into it growing up. I played soccer similar to you in high school and didn't take athletics super seriously. But one of them, one of my through her side of the family, an uncle, he straight up said, he's like, yeah, if I could change it, I would have trained a lot less, because he took it super seriously and had 3 daughters, and it was really tough for them all growing up, and they've all kind of come around and found closure in some of those hard times. But triathlon has the opportunity, and I think anything that you really have a passion and love for has the opportunity to totally mess up a family if that becomes the sole focus. So having that balance, like you said, it takes a lot of communication, and it's pretty key indeed.
I agree 100%.
So just the last couple of questions here. How has your definition of success changed since you got into this sport? Because it was in somewhat, I'll just ask it like that.
I think firstly, when I got into the sport, success is the results you do in triathlon. So if you become world champion, you're the greatest. And probably for some you are, and you feel in the moment as well. But over the time, it shifted a bit for me, that it's not just this. Also, like, just the way to get there is super important, and also what you do out of your own way. So how you get the way, and so still I want to, or I'm chasing those goals. I want to get there, but it becomes more and more also that's just the journey to get there, to appreciate it, and to share the things, probably like this. It's easy to say now, but for sure you want to get those goals. But I think it's not just this. What I thought first when I came into the sport, that like you need to get world champion. That's the ultimate success. And I think it's also when you can, as we said, if you can share it with your family, and all this kind of stuff has also value.
Yeah. Who's your biggest inspiration in the sport?
My biggest inspiration was always, even when I was on short course, Jan Stratmann. Yeah. I think his dedication, and also his like everything he did for around the sport, and how he did, starting with like the successes, for sure, his family life. You can't see into the, like, behind the doors what happened there, but just from an outside perspective, you just thought he makes a lot of things right. He for sure did things wrong, but in all, it seems like pretty cool. Also, all this thing from a marketing perspective, they build up the brand, they build it. It's pretty cool to see what is possible in the sport, and for me, it was always something I looked up to.
Yeah. Whenever you did that 70.3, where I think you came in fourth behind him, was that did you get to interact with him, and was that the first time that you had like an interaction?
Not really interacting, but for me it was like I was swimming on his feet for the whole swim and came with him out of the water, and I was so like pumped. It was the coolest feeling for me at this time. I was so pumped that I just did the same things he did. For example, I had a plan how to roll up my suit, and I did totally different because he did it different. So I was not being with me. So as you should. So I was just looking at him and I was like pretty much starstruck at this moment. And then I never seen him really again until the finish.
Yeah.
Because he just went off, and but that was not really. We said hi and ciao, not really an interaction afterwards.
Yeah. Well, if you had an opportunity to sit down with him for an hour, what is a question that you think you'd ask him?
I think I don't have a question, but I think more like how he handled this whole life thing, and probably on also what's his secret to be able to race on this level until this age. And I don't know if it's so much sport related questions I would ask him. So more like how to handle this whole thing with a family, or I think it's like you have, it is a whole thing you need to think about, and training is just one part. And I think sometimes it's the easiest to say, what do I train? I think it's not the hardest, probably more like how to handle life, staying injury free, because it all affects the training so much.
Yeah. Maybe we'll make a reel out of this and tag him and see if we can get him to respond then. Well, cool, man. Well, it's about wrapping up to an hour. Just one final question. I know I said a couple, but I've asked a few, but this is the last one. With the perspective that you have now, with all that you have experienced, and you know where you want to go, you're still going for world champion. What do you think life will look like for you after the sport? Do you want to be involved with triathlon still? Do you want to go and do something totally different? Maybe go back to med school? Have you put any thought to that?
No, for sure I won't go to any university anymore. I studied long enough. I thought about it sometimes, but then quite quickly focus switched to now. I have some ideas I could do. I have some ideas I could do in the sport. But right now I'm focusing so much on the sport that I don't let this like thoughts come through like fully. So I think I would have some ideas. I think I could imagine to stick around in the sport in certain parts, but I would also be, I think, open to like do something totally different.
Yeah, cool.
With the studies I did,
probably. Right on. Well, Jan, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me and let me roll through your life and ask all kinds of questions. It's always cool to hear different perspectives. Germany sounds like a nice place. I've been there once to Berlin, but I need to get out in the country sometime. So maybe one day you can show me out in the countryside on a bike or something.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, right on, man. Thank you so much to Jan for coming on the pod and for sharing about his life, his family, being a husband, being a professional triathlete, all the things. Really appreciate you, Jan, for coming on and making that happen. If you made it to this point in the podcast, though, just want to say thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here. Check out the show notes for any of those things to like, comment, subscribe, and leave reviews across all the platforms and all the things. Really appreciate it. Also, check out this SQ Sucks. All right. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for being here. Peace.